In this lesson on differential analysis, a key to decision making, we will focus specifically on the make versus buy decision. Strategic decisions cover non-routine operating decisions that typically will have a long-term impact on the company, therefore the label strategic. The chapter will cover 5 key strategic decisions, but our focus in this tutorial is on the make versus buy decision faced by manufacturing companies. Decisions involve choices or alternative action. In order to make the best decision for future operations, management must have access to complete and relevant information. Information overload is usually not beneficial to the decision-making process, and thus the focus on differential costs looks at only those costs that differ between alternatives. So what costs are included in differential cost analysis? Would you include past or sunk costs? Changes in variable or fixed costs? What about opportunity cost? Are those costs relevant? What about potential future costs like warranties, guarantees, service costs? Well, we know sunk costs are past investments. Generally, there is no value in including these costs unless there is some trade-in or sales value associated with its disposal. Changes in variable or fixed costs are relevant and should be provided to management. Likewise, opportunity costs are also relevant. They are the costs or lost profits associated with the choice or alternative foregone. And lastly, future costs may be relevant, and if so, should be included in the decision process. While we know sunk costs are past investments, generally there is no value in including this cost unless there is some trade-in or sales value associated with its disposal. Changes in the variable or fixed costs are relevant and should be provided to management. Opportunity costs are also relevant. They are the costs or lost profits associated with the choice or alternatives foregone. And lastly, future costs may be relevant and if so, should be included in the decision process. In summarizing, the make versus buy model requires us to compute the variable cost to produce the item. And both incremental fixed cost and any reductions in fixed costs associated with outsourcing should be added to the make cost. Why add? An example of an additional fixed cost might include a special mold we must purchase for the supplier to make our product. An example of a reduction in fixed costs might be the elimination of a salary position associated with the product to be outsourced, but it can only be eliminated if we outsource. Thus, it must be considered a cost of making and thus be included in the make cost of the product. Next, consider if any opportunity costs are associated with the decision to outsource. Assume we are operating at capacity and engineering has just created a prototype of their new design. This new product can generate significant profits in the future, and the technology needs to be protected from our competitors. If we outsource our current product, we can build and protect our newest invention on site, generating new margin for the company that exceeds that of our current product. If we forego this opportunity, we stand to lose market share as well as profit potential on this invention. Loss of potential future profits represents an opportunity cost to the firm. In this illustration, we are presented with an offer from an outside supplier to purchase a widget for $16. That is our buy price. Our accountant tracks the inventory cost of our widget at $25 per unit. However, the $25 cost includes $12 of fixed manufacturing cost, $10 of which would not be eliminated if we outsource the product. So the difference between the $12 and the $10, or the $2 that can be eliminated, is considered a cost that can be added to our make price. Though the above analysis indicates a $1 unit difference in favor of continuing to make the product in-house versus outsourcing it and accepting the supplier's offer, the volume may play a more significant role in the decision process, as you can see in this illustration where we've extrapolated the quantities to 8,000 units. and come up with a savings of $8,000 in favor of continuing to make the product in-house. In the second example, we basically just added opportunity cost to our scenario. So assume that the product margin on the new invention is anticipated to add $4 per unit of additional profit or contribution margin to the company's bottom line. If we choose not to outsource, we would lose the opportunity to earn $4 per unit, and thus $32,000 on a potential 8,000 units. Here you can see why the opportunity cost of an alternative not pursued must be considered and evaluated in making strategic decisions. These lost profits, $4 per unit, are considered an opportunity cost and is therefore added to the make cost of a product when performing the make versus buy analysis. In this particular analysis, the opportunity cost has shifted our decision in favor of buying the product from our supplier. In summary, if the make cost plus the opportunity cost is less than the buy cost, the external supplier's quote, then continue to make the product in-house. If the make cost plus the opportunity cost is greater than the buy cost, such as in example 2, it makes sense to consider outsourcing the product. Often, additional considerations related to technology, privacy, licensing, quality, and delivery must be considered. And of course, the impact on the company's employees. Often, outsourcing low technology products and promoting newer high-tech products boost employee morale, unless of course the decision reduces the overall employment. Though you might consider these non-financial considerations, many non-financial decisions have hidden costs. This concludes our lesson on the make versus buy decision.